Good evening, I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, the Real Money Doctor, and it's currently August 18th, which is a Tuesday. It's just about 7 o'clock, not quite, and I want to do today's daily recap of events that affect the way you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. Now, the question for today, a little strange one, but the question for the day anyway, how often do you lie? And we'll get to that in just a few minutes. We start every day since basically mid-March or so on the number of COVID cases, because again, that's the single biggest thing that's happening in the U.S. at this point in time. Right now, current COVID cases are 5,474,000 cases in the U.S. That's up 49,000 since yesterday, 49,000 new cases overnight. The deaths right now are 171,516. That's up almost 1,200 since yesterday. California got the number one spot. They've been there for, God, almost a month and a half, it looks like it right now, I think. Okay. Their current case numbers are at 634,598. They're up 9,300 cases since yesterday. Right now, their deaths are 11,349. So they've had another 103 people pass away since yesterday. Florida's got the number two spot. They're still having problems down there. The governor's just sort of off the wall and wants to open everything up. It's actually decrease the testing and open things up at the same time. Interesting combination of things. Texas got the number three spot. New York is at number 4. Georgia's at number 5. Illinois is at number 6 spot. Arizona's at number 7. New Jersey's number 8. Again, New Jersey and New York were both primarily in there because of early activity January and February and March and April. Okay, their case numbers have dropped down, their deaths have dropped down, their hospitalizations have dropped down considerably. But they had such large case numbers originally that they're still in the top 10. North Carolina's at number 9, and Louisiana just hit number 10 spot about a week ago, thereabouts. Now, here's a couple of big things happening in the news today. We'll try and touch base on a couple of them anyway. Cases, test positivity, and hospitalizations continue to rise across much of the U.S., but really at a much slower rate than in many areas. Although that doesn't make you feel any better if you're one of those numbers. It's really hard to believe, but there's still a number of demonstrations and protests by parents. One actually wants the schools to reopen in-person classes. Okay. Even as that's happening, okay, a school district in Nebraska canceled classes until October 24 due to an outbreak among staff joining districts in Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama that also canceled classes after similar outbreaks. That one Nebraska district, okay, pales in comparison to Mississippi, where 71 of 82 counties have already reported positive coronavirus cases within the schools. In Monday, a news conference in Mississippi, a health official said 245 teachers and 199 students have tested positive, leading to 589 teachers and a total of 2,035 students quarantining due to exposure. Now, the dangers of widespread school reopenings are quickly becoming apparent to many people. Not to everyone, but to a lot of folks. One Oklahoma student who attended the first day of classes in Oklahoma City High School after testing positive, the school district told the parents on Friday. Okay, everyone, okay, and all those that had contact with the student have been notified right now. The student's back in quarantine again. The state of California is planning to try and avoid the reopening situation altogether for in-person classes, as Governor Newsom said on Friday at a press conference. Roughly 95% of the schools of the state's 602 million students will start the school year with distance learning due to the state's spike in coronavirus cases. Meanwhile, in New York City, the country's largest school district is set to welcome students back to classes in a hybrid model. Families have really been given the option to opt out and continue remote learning at any time. It's election season right now. Moving on, and the DNC held its first day of their nominating conference yesterday, virtually, in fact, last night, with a number of big-time party members and speakers, along with some regular folks just sort of interspersed in there. It was interesting. I didn't watch all of it, but a lot of people did. The post office is still making news as the Postmaster General is being summoned to both the Senate and the House, okay, for separate grillings. He has already seemed to have agreed to stop any more changes until after the election. But that still leaves a lot of things that he's already done that can really slow things down and affect the service. Um, and again, President Trump just out and out blatantly put this guy in charge. This guy has definite conflicts of interest because he's a donor outside of being a donor. Okay, he's got financial interest in competing companies against the post office. What a surprise. Okay. Meanwhile, okay, uh, defying a widespread economic devastation, okay, severe unemployment and the grim prognosis for recovery have not really stopped the stock markets. Okay, exuberance, they're going off the wall. And on Tuesday, that underlying optimism propelled the market to a new high, pushing it past a milestone reached only 6 months ago, when the coronavirus was just beginning its harrowing journey across the United States. To those outside of Wall Street, the market's rise may appear totally inexplicable, given the human economic toll of the virus and the stalemate in Washington right now has really paralyzed efforts to try and provide more relief to the many businesses and workers that are desperately, desperately still in need. Still, investors have cast nearly relentless drumbeat of bad news aside to focus on any signs that the worst might be over. Um, this is just a side of an alternate reality, and I think it's going to come back to bite some people in a little while. Right now, they've been so emboldened, okay, by the Federal Reserve's steadfast support of the markets and the unwavering embrace of low interest rates that right now investors are taking into account the fact that the virus, which has seen a recent surge and was threatening a setback in much of the country for a second time, has shown some signs of abating. Right now, the number of new cases declining by 16% over the last 14 days, according to data compiled by New York Times. Expectations right now for 2020, corporate profits formulated by Wall Street analysts, seem to have stopped plummeting. Right now, also, there's a slow but noticeable progress towards a vaccine, which many manufacturers and public health officials seem to think might be ready sometime next year. And all that has made a lot of investors really bullish. Understand, investors are different than businesses on Main Street. And any business on Main Street can tell you that. The economy may be improving, even as the recovery itself is exceptionally tepid. Some 1.8 million new jobs were added in July, and the weekly state unemployment benefit claims have fallen below 1 million for the first time since March. That seems like a good deal. But the 1.8 million new jobs weren't really new jobs. A lot of those jobs were just people that were furloughed and were being called back as things reopened. So it's not anywhere near as rosy as it appears. And the market's eventually going to catch on and figure things out. I don't expect this rise to continue forever and a day. The Dow is still sitting at the 27.7 mark, basically. And it's taking a little hit today. But again, the S&P 500 off the wall. We'll see how it lands. Right now, that really brings me to the question for today. How often do you lie? It's really, really an odd question. I understand that. And some say it's really unfair because you make an unfair assumption that you people actually lie. And I would say there's a person in your life that you continually let down and go back on your word to. You lie to this person regularly. Regularly. It's not your kids or your spouse or your priest. It's much, much worse. The person that you have absolutely no integrity to, that you perpetually lie to, is you. How many times have you told yourself you're going to change something? You're going to improve something? You're going to stop doing something else? You're going to start doing something, and then by the time you get there, did you actually do that thing? Did you actually do what you wanted to do? Did you actually stop doing the thing you said you're going to stop doing? Now, even when you tell yourself something you're really committed to doing, you don't really believe yourself because your own personal history with yourself. You know you're a liar, you're a cheat, and you're not to be trusted. Okay? And your personal experience has proved that to yourself. Why is that, though? Why is that? Your accountability to yourself is what sucks. That's what the problem is. Okay? What's interesting here is that you probably don't lie to others. You probably keep your word to others. In fact, your word and character are probably unassailable to others. I want to help you regain your integrity with yourself, because you really can't go on lying and cheating, being an unworthy person to yourself. Okay, the most important person in your life. And then how are you going to leverage that integrity to help others and build and achieve your own goals? Well, it's sort of strange. Psychologists have really studied this question empirically, and the results are really, really shocking. Not at all what you would think. Psychologists tell you that we're happy when we win the lottery. Would they say that? No. Okay. When you move to a new city or a new state or a new house? No. Not what they say. Psychologists have actually found that we're happiest simply when we can see evidence of our progress. We love to feel accomplished. This is why people love to do this. Every time you check off something, you get a little dopamine hit. Okay? It's really amazing. Okay? And that's why we make such a big deal of lists. We love checking things off because as a people, we love to see evidence of our progress. So you want to set up mechanisms that provide you as much visual recognition of your progress as is humanly possible. Now, I've used all sorts of additional visual support and tracking systems that I can keep up with the integrity of myself and try and make myself happy so I can see my own progress. And I'll set up a new key behavior, something I'm working on. Let's say, I want to do my daily meditation, okay? Or I want to start doing my core exercises, something that I want to be consistent with, but I have been struggling with, something like that. So I take one of those big desk calendars. Okay, they fill the entire desk, you know how it goes. And you put it up on a wall in the office, and I stare at it every day. And it stares there, and it haunts you every day until you put the big red X on that day. So if I've meditated for that day, put the big red X in there. If I miss a day, it shows. It's visually in front of me. You can't miss it. Okay? And I really love looking at that daisy chain of red X's that go across the board every day. And as they start up, they start stacking up, I feel better. Now, I've used stopwatches to time the amount of time I've spent on some particular key behavior and then record it on a daily goal to increase that number every day. Very strange, but I've used a pocket full of pennies. Okay? When working with increasing the expression of positive attitude or the amount of praise that I'm distributing. It's really, really simple. Okay? I put 10 pennies in my left pocket at the start of the day. Every time when I proactively say something positive or give someone some praise, I'll take a penny out of my left pocket and move it to my right pocket. If I say something negative or get sucked into somebody else's gossip, oop, okay, or I'm critical. I say something disparaging about anyone. Now I have to take a penny from my right pocket and put it back in my left pocket. The idea, the goal, is to have all 10 pennies in my right pocket by the end of the day. Of course, there are all sorts of mobile apps for this type of thing, but I really prefer things that don't end up buried in a phone someplace. I don't use my phone. Most people live on their phone. I have a phone. I only use it to call my wife. That's it. I don't take text messages. I don't email from it. I don't do any of those things. Just use it as a phone and a camera. I like my camera. Anyway, I like the visual things, the physical things that you can see, you can touch, you can feel. And I don't want them hidden away somewhere in a phone or in a computer app that allow me to hide from myself. This way, you have to figure out what works for you. And you figure that out, you keep it simple, and you keep it visual. The more visual and the more simple you can keep it, the more you're going to keep yourself accountable to yourself. So you stop lying to yourself. Amazing things happen when that does happen. Now, I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, the Real Money Doctor. My only goal is to help you to get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. If you find these sessions that I do every day helpful, you want to know more how I can help you get the ultimate secure retirement that you've always dreamed of, and do it hopefully in the next 3 to 5 years, go to my site, drrousenow.com. See if I can help. There's a video there that explains the program. I can't help everyone, but it might work for you. Let me know, we can chat. For now, I appreciate you spending some time with me. And I certainly enjoy spending time with you. And again, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow around 7 o'clock. Thank you.